Hello and welcome to 7 Days of Yoga. I'm Laura and today marks day 5 of your journey where we will begin to gather everything you have learnt together from your breath awareness, your foundations, the lifting and lengthening, full extension of our pose, and now we'll try and bring all of that together. So we will begin in our seated position, kneeling or cross-legged, whichever one works for you. I'm going to have my Sukhasana, my cross-legged pose, and lift the seat up a little bit. Let's make that nice and comfortable and accessible today. So finding the seat that works for you, beginning to settle into this space. Finding that stillness, softening the gaze, and bringing that gentle awareness to the breath. And feeling the earth beneath you, how you're being held. Finding that length up through the body, drawing that energy up from beneath, all the way up through the spine, past the belly, the ribs, up to the shoulders, allowing them to melt down the back, up through the neck, lifting up, out through the crown of the head. Welcoming that stillness and bringing this breath and awareness with you throughout your practice today. To gently flutter the eyes open and begin gently warming up the body with these seated poses. So starting with a nice side stretch, sweeping the left hand out to the side of the mat as you draw the right arm up and over, reaching all the way, reaching with those fingertips, stretching over. Inhaling back to center, swapping sides. As the left arm inhales and reaches up and over, feel that lovely stretch across the side body. Exhaling, softening down. Inhaling up back to the center. We'll take a gentle twist as well. So you'll sweep your left hand behind, pressing on the floor behind you or possibly on the sacrum, right on the lower part of the back, right by the tailbone. Pressing that hand down, taking the right hand over to the opposite thigh, lifting up through the body, and exhaling to twist slowly from the bottom of the spine up. So feel like it's a spiral staircase coming all the way up. The gaze is neutral, forward. Inhale to find length. Exhale to soften into the twist. And then inhaling back to center. You can move throughout this practice with your own breath. So taking your right hand behind you, pressing firmly into the mat or onto your sacrum to give you a little bit of lift. Taking the opposite hand to the thigh. You need to inhale, find that length up through the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head. And exhale to twist around that spiral staircase from the base of the spine, up through the center, all the way up to the top part. Inhaling tall, exhaling to twist. Inhaling back to the center. Taking a nice gentle forward fold here. So padding those hands forward, reaching forward with your hands. You can come up on the fingertips or hands could come down. Find the expression that works for you today and the depth that works. Keeping that nice lifting and lengthening action through the spine, up through the crown of the head, drawing forward with the fingertips whilst pulling the seat back. Finding that length, that full expression. Exhale to soften further down. Inhaling long, exhaling, softening. And then inhaling back to your center. And removing any props. We'll come into our tabletop on all fours just to start our practice off as we move through a gentle sun salutation. So pressing down into your tabletop, the hands firmly rooted, the knees down, stacked underneath the hips, finding that length across the spine, the crown reaching forward, the tailbones pulling back. And tucking those back toes under, lifting up for your downward dog. You can pad this out, find the length that works for you today in your downward dog. Pressing up and away with the hands, the hips draw back, the gaze drops down, possibly between the thighs. You're looking up and out, pressing firmly through those hands. Inhale, exhale, inhaling as you rock forward for your plank, shifting the weight over the front of the hands, drawing the heels back behind you for your plank. As you begin to lower for your cobra, this is on an exhale, you can drop the knees down or you can go all the way down from your plank, whatever works for you. So as you exhale, lowering the chest down, untucking the toes, pressing them firmly into the back of the mat here. As you begin to inhale, drawing the elbows in and lift the chest up and forward. Feel like you're pulling the mat back behind you. And exhale, coming down. And tucking the toes back under as we all push all the way back into our downward dog. You can explore this motion by maybe lifting the chest up, maybe coming up onto the knees, and then pulling the knees up towards the sky, finding that stance that works for you in your down dog, meeting back here, pressing away with the hands up and out through the shoulders, that broadening across the back. And coming forward for our forward fold. So beginning to step the feet gently forward, tiptoeing up to the top of your mat. Nice big generous bend in the knees here as the torso folds over the thighs. Softening, exhaling down here. And then on the inhale, you can begin to roll the spine up. Bit by bit, vertebrae by vertebrae. The back comes up. The head is the last to come up. Rolling all the way up to the top. Enjoying this moment in your Tadasana here. Remembering your foundations firmly pressing down with the feet. Lifting that energy all the way up. Dropping the shoulder blades down. Length in the neck. Up through the crown of the head. As we prepare to step back for your warrior two, shifting the weight over to the left foot as the right foot begins to peel up and steps all the way back behind you. You can explore with the stance here what works for you today in it. See what works. So the front foot pointing towards the top edge of your mat, the back foot points to the top corner. As you begin to bend into that front knee, pressing firmly into the outer blades of the foot, lifting up and out, reaching up through the crown of the head as the arms lift up, You take the gaze gently over to that front hand. Enjoying this full expression of the pose. Inhaling to lift and lengthen. Exhaling to maybe soften and deepen into your pose. Inhaling up, straighten that foot. Give yourself a rest for a moment. And we'll prepare to come into our extended side angle pose. You may want to have some props for this. I'm going to use a brick, but you could use books or anything that kind of gives you a little bit of height, something to rest your hand on, a chair even to the side, whatever works for you. So with your prop, put it to the side of the front foot, whatever height works for you, placing it there. And back in our nice long stance that we had in our warrior. Feet in the same position, the front foot points forward, the back foot points to the top corner of your mat, pressing firmly into those feet, to the outer corners of the back foot here, drawing that energy up. As you soften and bend that front leg, as the knee bends, begin to shift the body over to the front of the mat as the hand comes down to rest on your block here for your extended side angle. The body faces towards the long end of the mat and the top arm, maybe it rests on the hip. You may want to explore reaching it up and over. A nice long line here, and feel that nice long extension all the way from the top fingertips reaching up and out. That nice line reaching all the way down to the back foot there. Lifting up and out of the side body. Inhaling back to your center. And finding a moment to rest here. You can always stop and come back to your Tadasana in the middle. Maybe just have a little shake. It's hard work. So just enjoy the break whenever you need one. And then coming back into our nice wide stance. Just keeping any props you need off to the side as we'll explore our warrior two on the other side first. So taking that nice stance and turning the front foot out to the top edge of the mat. And the back foot points to the top corner here. Finding the stance that works for you, pressing firmly into both of those feet, really pressing them down. And through this, you can then draw that energy back up into the body as the front knee bends. And lifting the torso, the body up. Finding that length as the arms sweep up to the sides. Feel like someone's pulling either end of them. And the gaze can shift over to the front fingertips. Inhaling tall. Exhaling to soften. And then inhaling to relax. Straighten that front foot. Give yourself a little bit of a break here. And then if you need your props to hand, you take whatever you need to put by the front edge of the foot here. You could maybe, if you have a brick, you could try a different angle. Maybe you want to go a little bit lower this time. Explore with what works for you in your side angle today. So in your nice stance like this, pressing firmly again into those feet, drawing down into the earth to then bring that energy up through the hips. As you soften into that front knee, bend it down nice and strong here. Then begin to shift that front hand down, resting it on the brick, or maybe it even goes to the floor, whatever place works for you. And then from here, finding that nice long line all the way up from the foot, up through the leg, the side body, and maybe the hand, the arm reaches up overhead. Finding that full expression, that length and extension through the fingertips all the way down to the back edge of the foot. Pressing firmly here into the feet, lifting up and out of the body. And inhaling up and out. You can remove any props here. Just come to the front of your mat again. And just enjoy this moment back in your Tadasana. Rooting the feet firmly down. Drawing that energy up. Inhaling tall. Exhaling, begin to fold back down your forward fold Uttanasana. Rolling the spine down bit by bit. Nice big bend in the knees. The hands rest down. And maybe see if you can find yourself all the way down to your mat. As you come down onto your seat. And roll the spine all the way down onto the back of the mat into a nice supine position here. The back rests down. You can have a nice wide stance with the feet into the mat, the knees bent. We'll take some gentle wiper motions with the feet here just to give ourselves a little relaxation after that hard practice. So on the exhale, drop the knees over to the right hand side. Allowing them to rest here for a moment. And inhaling them back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Just allowing the body to unwind and soften. The breath beginning to slow. And inhaling back to center. As you prepare for your Shavasana, maybe the legs stay bent, they can even drop into the center. Perhaps placing your pillows under the knees, blankets under the head. Whatever expression of Shavasana works for your body today. Beginning to allow the body to soften. The brow to unknit, the jaw to unclench, the gaze to close. Feeling the body melt into the floor. Giving yourself a well-deserved pat on the back for continuing this journey. Finding your breath, your foundations, your length, your extension, and now the full expression, gathering those poses together and what you've learned. May you be able to continue on this journey, an exploration of your own practice. Inhale in, exhale out.